Okay, welcome to the Six Man Podcast. Nico Rocha here with my guest, Ateneo's team captain, co-captain for season 86, Shawn Quitevis. Chris Kuhn being the other, but he's not here right now. Maybe one day. But this is gonna be like a preview for the UAAP season 86. We're gonna try talking to, if not the captain, at least notable players for each team. So we have Shawn here, and then hopefully next one will be for Lasal. But that's for next time. That's gonna be a surprise. But for now, what's up, bro? Welcome to the podcast. We had him before but it was on Zoom. Now it's face to face. We got Migs over there. Actually, kita siya dito sa mirror. And for those watching on YouTube and Spotify, thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe and on Spotify to follow the page so that you'll be notified for more episodes. Anyway, Shawn, what's up? How's the off season? I don't want to jump to your current state right now, but overall, how's everything with you, the team for Ateneo? What can fans expect?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for having me here again. I was on your first podcast, so being back here right before season 86 it's an honor to be back here again and to see how your podcast has grown. It's really amazing to see. Currently, the off season was really great for us. We did a lot of traveling around the world, Australia, Japan, even like provincial places like Davao, Cebu. It's been really great, bonding with these guys, especially having a new role with this team. It's a learning process for me as well. But getting to know these new guys, these new rookies, I look forward to this season. That's all I can say.
Yeah, and I already told you yesterday when we met that there was a big jump from your first game in FilOil to first game in Pinoyliga to where you guys are now. From the last game being in Wubs, right? That was the last one.
Yeah.
And for those who didn't understand, what happened during those early tournaments? Why? For those who are still in the dark.
Well, coming into FilOil, we had a 3-week finals break where we weren't allowed to hold practices as a team because we had to focus on our academics, make sure we studied for our finals week. And, we came into FilOil with 2 practices, but, we didn't put that as a reason. We just wanted to perform the best that we could. And we understood that there was a process to take and to grow as a team, and we just trusted in that.
Yeah, and it was a bit of a grind, right? There was a lot of there was a lot of
There were
growing
definitely
pains.
some tough games there. Absolutely.
Well, what was the goal in FilOil compared to the one in Pinoyliga? Like I saw that there were different lineups, right? So for Pinoyliga, sometimes Team A would play, sometimes Team B. How did you guys decide on who would play for a certain league? Considering that there are a lot of tournaments, of course, the coaching staff is thinking of your health. You can't play everybody in every game. So how did that decision process come through?
Personally, I'm not so sure how that decision
Yeah.
process was made, but we understood each individually as a player that when we're called, we have to come and play, no matter what the circumstance is. Whether you play today, tomorrow, the next day, 4 straight days, it doesn't matter. You have a job to do and you do it. And the job was really just to grow as a team and grow individually as a player. And when the time comes to put everything together, we'll be ready for that.
Is there any memorable games that stuck with you during the off season? There's a lot. Doesn't matter Pinoy League. Ba't ka tumatawa, Migs? May ano ka ba? May naalala ka
Which
ba?
game?
Traffic
Oh,
game?
the traffic game. So
Which one to?
this was the one in Las Piñas.
Oh, okay. Phil Basket.
Phil Basket in Las Piñas. And so, we came off a film session and, we left during rush hour from Katipunan all the way to Las Piñas. And, we were riding with Migs, me, Chris, Kai. The team left in a bus, but we were riding in a separate car just for space.
Yeah.
And Migs was driving us, but during rush hour, his car was coding. Car was coding.
So what time? Okay. What time was the game? Was it 8? 6 o'clock?
7. And
So you guys had to leave by like 3.
yeah, we anticipated to leave by 3, but I think it became like 3:30. So as we were on the way to Las Piñas, we got off the Skyway. By the time we got down, that's when the police officers, highway patrol came after us.
What time? Kasi di ba 5 pa naman yung ano, di ba? Yung coding.
5:05.
Yeah.
Literally 5.
Yeah.
So 5:05, you guys were still on the street.
Yeah, 5:05. We were still on the street.
Okay.
And it was like 6 p.m. and we got stopped by the highway patrol officers, rightfully so.
Okay.
Our car
Yeah, that
was
makes
coded.
sense.
And we kind of like woke up. We were like so confused what was happening. Like,
Because we're just stopped in
yeah,
one.
he didn't tell us his car was coding. He was just driving. And then,
Nakaliwa.
yeah, we were just begging the police officers.
Please.
Like we have a game to catch. Like we have to go. But Mix, went through the right process of everything. And we made it to the game.
Mm.
We were kind of late to the stretch.
What's the right process, by the way? What's the right process?
What happened?
I told Shawn, we may lose this battle. You guys gotta win the war.
Yeah, like he had to give up his license registration, pay a fine. But like we said, okay, now we gotta win this game for him.
Yeah, we'll win this game for you.
Yeah, so we had to win the game.
Binigyan nyo ng ticket, no? Sabay na rin kayo papuntang Las Piñas.
That's true. So yeah, we came up to the game late, tried stretching, and then the game was already about to start. So we ended up winning the game. Kai won player of the game.
I think it's every game. Siya ata player of the game, right? Was it him?
Except the finals, it was Espinosa.
Oh yeah, it was Ayan, yeah.
But Kai had a stellar offseason, just as we expected.
Speaking about Kai, he got married during the summer. It was in secret, right? It was just really, at least for the public, it was in secret. And I'm sure
Yeah, no, actually for me it was also a
it's, also,
surprise. man.
it's
He
really,
just-
it's all,
yeah.
okay, it's
Kai
always
just
been a
messaged
secret.
me on Snapchat one day and he was like, "Bro, guess what?" I was like, "Yo, what's up?" I just got married. I was like, "What?"
And did he show like a
What?
ring or did he show like a
And
photo?
he just showed
What
me
is it?
like a picture of his wedding. I was like, "Yo, that's crazy, man! Like, congratulations! So happy for him. 2 rings in 2022. Couldn't have ended it any better."
What do you think did he change anything during the summer from, what did you see from season 85 to season 86 on how Kai has developed into being this kind of player? Ngayon sa summer, last year, he wasn't this kind of a scorer, diba? He was, I would assume, or from what you observed, he's a bit shy, trying to find his place within the team. Did anything change or is more of just getting used to the Philippine brand of basketball?
I think Kai has always been extremely talented, highly skilled player, high IQ player, a very good student of the game as well. But I think this season, we've talked to each other, we've talked to one another that we're demanding a lot from him in terms of leadership, responsibility roles. And he has taken that. He's been more vocal. He's stepped up when we needed him the most. And he's one of my favorite teammates to play with, personally.
Love it. And that's why we're still kind of considered one of the favorites for this upcoming season. Would you say? Yeah, of course. I'm just gonna say like, nah, we're not the favorites.
Don't know if we never like to see ourselves as favorites. To us, like
There's a mentality.
we love that underdog mentality. Personally, we always see it that there is something to prove as a team, especially with all these new rookies.
Yeah.
And we look forward to that challenge every day.
Which I remember during the summer that you guys played in Ball Out Sports as well, right? And just building off that one, you guys have a lot of revenge games that happened throughout the summer. So you guys played a lot of games. One was with St. Clair. What was the other one? You guys have a lot of revenge games.
We had like a statistic where we played, if I'm not mistaken, 40 games in 55 days.
40 games in 55 days. Does that include the games that you guys played in Moro? The closed door games? Or
Yeah, I believe so.
Huh.
So it was a lot of games for us, and it really helped us gain more experience faster, give us film on what we needed to study. It was good. It was beneficial.
For the games in Moro, it's not recorded, right? It's not meant to be seen by the public. It's really closed door. So, any game that you want to share with us that that stuck with you? Because we have no idea who you guys play. The only things I see on Facebook are the photos after, diba? And then pinapakita nila yung score. Like, for example, merong most recent. Di ako sure kung recent nga eh. Ateneo versus San Beda. where you guys won 70-64. Was that recent? Because I just saw it here
2 days ago.
2 days ago. So any games from Moro that that stuck with you? Anything that
Well,
been a memorable one?
personally, like we had maybe 2 tune-up games against the Gilas, one for
Oh, there
SEA
you go.
Games and one for the World Cup, and they were just memorable to me because those are our idols. We look up to them ever since I was growing up. Like Junmar, like as a young kid in Cebu, I would watch his college games, and like the Cebu Coliseum would be filled to the rafters, to the hallways outside, and to play against him was really like wow, like what an experience to have. And he's really that's a huge human being. And
6'10", right? 6'10".
yeah,
He's a
and
massive human.
to play against Dwight, he was my teammate in Team B. That was really fun to see Kiefer, 30. Just what an experience to have. And playing to help Gilas in any way we could was a privilege.
Did you get switched on Dwight? Were you matched up with Dwight during those moments?
I was matched up with Dwight. Yeah, he hit me with the nastiest step back like I've.
Even Brownlee.
Oh yeah, I
He
was
wanted Brownlee
You wanted, but Brownlee didn't play, right?
in SEA Games.
in SEA Games.
Oh, he played in the SEA Games. Oh, I mean, in the roster
Yeah. So
during the tune-ups.
during the tune-up, we played in Inspire for their SEA Games, and I got matched up with Brownlee, and that was
How was that? How was that?
He's an amazing scorer, man. He can drive to the hoop, he can shoot the ball, and I just did everything I could. And there's only so much you can do with a talent like that. But I'll give him everything I have.
I think you went 110% all the time, right?
Absolutely,
Especially when it comes to the Gilas games.
Absolutely.
Just maybe one day get that call.
I hope so. Like
Let's share your story here in Cambodia.
There you go.
Oh,
So Shawn
yeah.
had a memorable Cambodia trip.
yeah. So I went to Cambodia for SEA Games this year. It was to watch one of my closest friends, Miggy Bautista. He's part of the fencing national team. He's actually going to qualify for the Olympics soon.
Oh,
Hopefully.
so they're like qualifiers to get into the Olympics. All right,
Yeah. So shout out to Miggy. So I was in Cambodia, and while I was there, I wanted to see the Gilas team practice. So I messaged Coach Sandy, and he asked the management if I could watch, and they gave me a time and place of where they were practicing. So I took a tuk-tuk from my hotel to the location. It was about 45 minutes away, and a tuk-tuk, for context, is like their tricycle in Cambodia. So fun to be riding a tuk-tuk. And when I arrived at the venue at 8 p.m., it was pitch black. There was like absolutely no one there. And I was like really concerned. I was like, oh, like, did they switch venues? Did they switch practice times? Like, I didn't know. So all I did was like, I just asked like the person in charge there if I could just shoot in the dark.
It's pumayag, no? Parang he could just say he's somebody, right? The person's like, did he ask you for your ID or anything?
No, I'm honestly so surprised how nice he was. He was just like,
Yeah?
okay, here's a ball, go shoot in the dark.
This could be anyone, right? Could just be a stalker and be like, oh yeah, I'm part of the team.
Man,
Well, your build
yeah.
is a basketball player. So if it was our height, like 5'5", yeah, I'm part of the team. I don't think so. You're not gonna get the ball.
Maybe. But yeah, luckily enough, he gave me the ball, and I just, laced my shoes up and just started shooting, doing some dribbling workouts, finishing workouts, working on my pick and roll. And I was in full sweat, and it was really hot in Cambodia, right?
Is it same as the weather here, or it's a bit hotter?
Maybe similar. I would say similar. And then out of nowhere, like as I'm shooting, I just look behind me and I see the door, and Justin Brownlee walks in, and then the whole Gilas team walks in, and I'm like, yo, like what's happening? And then like this is after we had the SEA Games tune-up, so a couple of the players knew me. So yeah, like they approached me and they looked so confused, like seeing me out there. They're like,
Ateneo's here? Like, what are you doing here?
like, what are you doing out here? And I was like, oh, I came to watch you guys practice. And then like they were like so they were just shocked that I was there. And then I was just supposed to watch their practice, but then I think Coach Chad like saw me working out already, and he just asked me like, would I be able to practice for them? And I didn't hesitate. I'd love for that opportunity. And yeah, so I just practiced with them. I tried to play as the scout team for Indonesia. So we were running their plays and having Gilas defend it. And yeah, I just wanted to help the country in any way I could. It was a privilege for me.
Yeah, that's really great and memorable one. I asked you yesterday if did they give you a jersey or anything, any practice jersey or not. You were just using your own.
I was just using my own stuff, my own Ateneo gear.
Very memorable one. So moving on from that one, I think the point of concern for most people, especially for a lot of Ateneo UAP fans, is your leg. So we're now gonna get there. What is the current status right now? I mean, you've played from you were playing in Pinoyliga, FilOil, Ball Out Sports up to the Davao Invitational. Is that the right term? Davao Invitational? Kadayawan Festival. You
Yeah.
played in the first game against LaSalle, and that's where you experienced like a tweak in the knee. Is it the right term?
Yeah.
Which we thought that could have just been a sprained knee, but what really happened there?
So
And we're gonna pull up a video. I mean,
Alright.
in the on YouTube and Spotify, we're gonna pull it up. We're gonna show it on left,
Yeah.
right, whatever. You're gonna see it. He's gonna send it to me on
So,
the exact moment where it happened.
around the second quarter of actually, like just to put it, like scale it back a bit, like on the championship of the Phil basket, that's when I busted my lip open, right?
That's another one.
Yeah.
But it healed perfectly. So it looks parang pimple na lang, diba? It doesn't look like
Yeah.
it got open. Do you want to show that? Nah,
Yeah,
we might get flagged on YouTube. We showed the photo,
It
the one
was-
you showed me yesterday.
It was kind of graphic, I would say.
It's very graphic. I
Yes.
think we might get flagged.
Yeah. But we played through the stitches, the wound, and then shout out to my doctor James Aquino. He did a very good job with the stitches. He told me like it took over 20 stitches.
Which hospital? Which hospital?
I'm not so sure actually. It's just his own personal.
Oh,
thing.
okay.
And then yeah, so we went straight to Davao after, and our first game was against LaSalle, and facing LaSalle, it's gonna be like a high energy expenditure game. So during the first quarter, second quarter, we came out just hot. Everyone was shooting well, and then by the end of the second quarter, there was one possession where I was guarding, I think, Policarpio, and he attacked the basket, and as I tried to defend it, I tried to push off my right leg, and then it kind of just didn't feel right. Like I couldn't put force on it. So, coming into halftime, I was just assuming it was like a jumper's knee.
Mhm.
So, I worked with my PTs, strength and conditioning coaches, to activate my quads, hamstrings. And then when we came out of the third quarter, I defended a drive, and then I kind of pivoted or twisted my foot. Then that's when like a sharp pain in my knee started happening, and then that's when like real concerns started happening, and my knee just started swelling mid game, and I I tried to hide it. I tried to hide it.
Yun yung mahirap na pag yung team captain mo yung nagtatago ng ano. Some
Yeah.
very delicate stuff. You can't hide that shit.
I tried to hide it, man, but I could not put any.
Did you
weight
tell
on
anyone,
that.
like the student managers, like, hey, don't tell anybody, but or you kept it to yourself? You
Nah.
literally didn't tell
I
anyone.
was trying to be like Kobe. When he tore his Achilles, thought he could play through.
Okay, it's not that serious, but
That's you.
I
Hey,
was-
knock on wood.
knock on wood, yeah. But I only told my PTs and strength and conditioning coaches.
That you're experiencing some pain.
Yeah,
This is what it
sharp pain, like-
feels like. Is it serious? Did you ask that? Like,
That's what I was wondering mid game, like how serious is this? Because I can't put weight on it, and my knee started swelling. So I played the third quarter, fourth quarter, and then even overtime. but it was really just on one leg. I could not put weight on it, push off of it, and thankfully we won that game. But I definitely knew something was wrong, so I had to get it checked before Japan. So I rested the rest of the Davao trip, and once I got it checked, you know, we went to Japan, and then that's when I found out like, okay, like I need surgery because there was a chip cartilage floating in my knee, and then it would take around 4 to 6 weeks to recover. But like if we did it as soon as possible, hopefully we can make it to the season. And that was really the main concern for me, to make it to season.
What was the initial diagnosis back then?
Like before the MRI.
Yeah, before the MRI, what did they tell you? Like you were gonna fully recover in 3 to 4 months? Was that the initial diagnosis, or
Um, you know, we heard from we got the opinions of different doctors, and one doctor was saying like it was a serious knee injury and he needs surgery now, and then it might take 3 months to heal. I was like, you're telling me like I might be out for almost the season, and that just was not acceptable to me. It was not an option. So to me, we went with the best possible scenario, which Dr. Canlas
yeah?
is such a great sports doctor, and he gave me all the options I had, and thankfully we got the surgery done, and we're making a great recovery with Coach Andre Tolentino, Coach Rex Reyes, who's been very good for my speed, and Coach Roger with my nutrition, Jarek as my PT. It's a great team I have for this recovery process, and I feel like we're gonna be stronger more than ever.
So as of this recording, when can you start practicing like 5 versus 5?
Currently, I'm still not cleared
Okay.
to join contact practice, but we'll see. We have some tests to run, and hopefully I'll be there. Hopefully I'll be there for the season. I'll do everything I can.
For the season opener, or at least come back in the middle of the season?
Absolutely for the season opener. I'm
For the season
doing everything
opener.
I can.
Okay rin yung ano yun, like when you're like the assistant coach, like during the Kadayawan games,
Yeah.
you were like moving like a coach, so like assistant coach, because you were wearing a polo shirt, I think, back during those games against Lasal in the finals. It's like, oh, this guy looks like an assistant coach, and I thought they were just resting you.
Yeah.
Like, okay, there's no need to play Shawn because
No, absolutely. There's no way I'm resting. I'm sorry.
against Lasal in the finals
There's no
game.
way I'm resting. If I can play, I'll play, man.
So at least with your recovery, you're optimistic with that one compared to the first few days, first few weeks. How's the anxiety level? How did you? This is your first major injury, right? So would you say, as honest as possible, that it didn't affect you, or it got into your head and be like, oh my gosh, am I gonna miss the season?
No,
Or
absolutely.
there were no doubts because it was very been clear from the start on what you're gonna expect.
No, definitely. I think it's human nature almost to worry about how you're gonna be during this injury and maybe after your injury. But it was a new challenge for me, a new experience, and there was so much uncertainty moving forward from it. But all I could do was taking the messages from my coaches, my teammates. I had the support of everyone there, and they just supported me through it. And I had a team I trusted, especially with the medical side of everything, and we're just aiming to come back stronger than ever, and I'm really optimistic about that.
Yeah, and we're 16 days to the season, September 30.
Yeah.
So that's what? That's 2 weeks, roughly 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. We're almost there. And with that, Shawn, during the offseason, been named the team captain. Like immediately after the championship, along with Chris Kuhn, what have been the challenges right now of being Ateneo's team captain? Of course, hindi ko pa ito matatanong before. He was just named team captain. But now that you have 7 to 8 months of being the captain, what have been the challenges that stuck with you, or the things that are expected from an Atenean team captain? Because it's different for every team.
Yeah. Especially with Ateneo, I think there is a legacy to be upheld. There's a culture to be upheld. We talk so much about Bebop, the Blue Eagle Band of Brothers, and seeing such great leaders before me, Mamu, Matt, Mike Nieto, 30. It's a lot of weight on your shoulders. But I'm trying to learn each and every day on how to be a leader. There's always something you can learn every day. But thankfully, I have one of the best leaders in the country, Coach Tab. I just try to, you know, gain as much knowledge as I can from him. And to be one of his leaders is absolutely one of the hardest challenges I've ever done. But, I look forward to rising to the occasion.
And with that, how was it managing, or at least with the young players that are being implemented to Ateneo's Team A right now? Wala pang roster, no? The official roster has not been released yet as of now. But you might have an idea. You don't need to share who the final roster is right now. But at least with the guys, mostly Philams, right? Who are incoming with Ateneo. How are they? How's their integration into the team? Was it hard? Was it easy? How was it like?
You know, all the guys that we brought in this year are highly skilled, highly
Okay.
talented players, and I really believe that. You have Mason, who's been in already the Gilas men's team, and Shawn Tuano, LeBron Nieto, Kyle Gamber, all those other guys. They're like every time I come into practice, I'm like, wow, these guys are skilled, so high level. But we talk a lot about culture
Mhm.
for our rookies and for people who I guess who haven't lived here.
Yeah.
Ateneo is still kind of like they don't know how big it is yet, and it's hard to grasp. So every day like I try to talk about our culture. I actually ask like give them homeworks like I want you to watch this season.
Oh, you give them homework.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
okay.
we do it with the best. So like recently we told them to watch like season 79, season
Yeah.
84. I want you to watch us lose, look at the reaction, learn from it, and like tell me what you see next practice. So then they share their thoughts and we talk about it. So to us, our history is very important in building our culture, and we're still trying to build it each and every day.
Which specific part of the culture is more of just the winning tradition, the losing tradition, or more of how Ateneo values like the basketball team? Is that like what you're trying to explain to them, the magnitude of what we're doing here every day?
Yes, but also we want to talk more about the pillars of our culture.
Okay.
So, for example, one of our pillars is servanthood.
Okay.
And when we say servanthood, we try to be men and women for others, but we also try to emulate that on the basketball court by serving one another, setting good screens for one another, cutting hard for each other, sharing the ball. So when we say servanthood, we don't just mean it off the court, we mean it on the court as well.
For this one, for the youngest you mentioned, the incoming rookies, anybody that stuck with you, we can remove Mason because Mason's like the of course part of Gilas already, but outside Mason, any other rookie that left a lasting impression on you?
Can you name me the rookies, Mix? Okay, start with LeBron. LeBron Nieto is a dog.
Oh, I've seen how much he has grown
Yeah.
from Pinoyliga to where you guys are
Absolutely.
right
He's
now.
surprised me so much, man. Just how ready he was for the collegiate
The
game.
trajectory was curved, like the
Amazing.
way he just
But
improved.
you know what? That's what you get from like growing up with two older brothers.
Yeah.
I can only imagine like all the basketball he's been through all his life.
I
But
like this meron tayong fact checker. We can just check with Migs.
you should hire him, man.
Pwede.
Seriously.
Especially pag sa future next guest natin, yung nasa likod ng phone mo. Pero hindi naman nila, they won't know.
Just,
But yeah, for
just a
the...
shout out to Mix. This guy could be the next Eric Spoelstra.
Eh, yeah, why not, bro? Why
He
not?
loves the game just as much.
Nasa Davao ka rin ba nun? Like pag student managers, the student managers,
He was in Davao, yeah.
That's a fun fact.
yeah,
That's the first student manager they
to
brought.
outside Metro Manila,
2 trips.
2 trips. And that's how valuable Migs
He
is.
is.
check out Jefe, pero I don't think we can enter Ateneo without like a pass. But one, did you plan to make that a restaurant?
Started, yeah, I think after I graduated, entering college, kasi JSEC was big, di ba? I want to have my own stall there.
Ooh.
Let's give some context to that. So JSEC is a
There you go.
student-owned cafeteria in Ateneo,
Yeah.
and Migs has his own stall there called Jefe, and they serve what cuisine?
Biryani burritos.
Biryani
Biryani.
burritos. So it's a fusion between Pakistani and Filipino and Mexican. Yeah, so
Triple cuisine. Sarap ng ano niyan, ah.
it's really good food in Ateneo. I promise you that.
No, this idea, sakto there's like a third seat there, right? We need like another mic, the
Yeah.
the boom stand,
For real.
right? Because that's how it's set
This
up
can
with
be a new thing.
That's for next episode.
for next episode, yeah. The one behind your phone, yeah.
Okay, moving on.
moving on. Yeah, Shawn Tuano, all right.
Shawn Tuano, I'm sure he can you'd love to hear his side of the story, but coming into the first month of the off season, I was going so hard at this kid.
Oh, why? I want to know. Like, what? So it's first day or first week? First game? First practice?
First 3 months.
First 3 months. All right. So why Shawn out of everybody?
I was going hard at everybody, but I don't know. Just to
Wait.
him, I just wanted to see his breaking point.
Okay.
And we had this drill called the Oklahoma drill. So
Okay.
this is one of my favorite drills. So it's basically like maybe 5 feet of space, like cones,
Okay.
all the way from like baseline to half court, and it's just you 1-on-1,
Okay.
and the guy is just trying to get the offensive player is just trying to get the ball across.
Okay. So that's Shawn. So he's the one holding.
Yeah, so I would really want to defend him, and I'd just try to be as physical as possible with him. I wanted him to know how the UAP was going to be.
That's why
as
you-
quick as possible.
Yeah.
And every day I would challenge him physically, mentally, to see like where he would like quit. But until now he hasn't, and he's only grown from it. So I look forward to seeing him this year, hopefully. And it's a young guy that has a lot to prove.
Why him specifically though?
Why
Why
Shawn?
Shawn Tuano the story? Why this one? Were you challenged because he's huge, he's tall?
Not you. Can I say that like just attitude wise?
Yeah, I mean, we can always cut this part.
Yeah.
Like whatever. If you, yeah, just go ahead.
Well,
Just coming in.
he just coming in like I just want these young rookies to
Okay.
have something to prove right away.
Okay,
I don't want them to come in assuming like they're safe. I wanted to place them in an uncomfortable situation
Okay.
right away.
Like their spot is secure. Like this stuff.
Yeah.
What you don't want to give them that thought. Like
Yeah.
nothing is sure here.
Coming out of high school, they were all star players.
Yeah.
Respected teams.
Yeah.
So, it's an adjustment.
Yeah. So really nothing like specifically just for Shawn Tuano. Just
Basically the rookies.
yeah. Anyone, all the rookies. Mason got it. I'm sure like all the rookies have a story.
Mason got it from who? From you as
For
well.
me as well. It's
Was there like a specific drill with Mason, or it's just every day in practice?
no specific drill, just every day in practice. Like if we had to do runs and like Mason would get tired, I'd push him right away and say like we're not quitting now. Or if he's cutting to the basket, like we'll be physical with him. It's just so like they get mentally tougher as well.
Yeah, because I think he mentioned in one of the podcasts. I think he was with Naveen about his UP story, and was it with JD who gave him like a welcome to
Yeah.
the Philippine Collegiate? I can't say UAP moment, but
Yeah.
because that was not UAP, it's FilOil, but at least welcome to Philippine Collegiate
Yeah.
basketball.
Well, I only do that because I've experienced it myself.
Yeah.
So, it's best to get these guys ready and prepared.
Where'd you get it from?
I would say like playing against UP, or actually my welcome to the AP moment.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So like our first game was against FEU.
Season 85.
Yeah,
So the first game, it's literally the first game.
yeah,
Yeah.
literally the first game, and I check in the game. I'm all like hyped and excited, and they place me to guard Cyrus Torres.
Okay, Cyrus Torres.
And like I come out, they inbound the ball, and it's immediately in Cyrus's hands, and I just remember like defending and looking, and then I was like, wow, are the lights really this bright? It was almost like a movie.
When you enter the court,
Uh-huh.
Aranet, ay mawa
Mawa.
pala yung first game, yeah.
And coming into the game, I've played like preseason games, so I thought like
It's the same.
I'm good. Like I've been here, but I've already seen what it's like. I should be good. But man, UAP lights are different. UAP lights are movie like.
Like the spotlight is on you guys, right? Can you guys see the crowd? Is there like lights on the crowd, or it's really focused on the court? Parang nakagitna mismo sa court
I
yung
think
ilaw,
you just
diba?
see the player, and then the crowd's almost like
A bit
blur.
blur.
But you hear the drums, you hear the energy of the crowd, and so yes, Cyrus is sizing me up, and like I'm trying to pressure because I'm so hyped up, and he just blows right by me. As I try to cut him off, he just gives me a bump, hits a floater, and one, and I'm like,
And
"Welcome to the UAAP."
how many minutes did you play in that game?
Can't remember, maybe 3 to 5
3 to
minutes.
5 minutes. During that stretch, it was in that same quarter, or it was a bit spread out?
I think it was 1 quarter. 1 quarter. I just had one shift, maybe.
Oh, that's the start
One
of.
and one, and then maybe I gave up a turnover.
But-
The start of UAP is tough for rookie. I promise you that.
Like it's really different for rookies, right? Like
Yeah.
when you actually get to the court playing in MOA, playing in Araneta. In the off-season games, you guys didn't play in any arenas, right? It's only the one in Las Piñas, the biggest one.
We played in Araneta against Letran for
Oh,
the
yeah.
FIBA World Cup simulation, and that was a really fun game.
Yeah, how was that? Nobody. So when I took a Instagram story of that game, people were like, "Is there a recording? Is there a live stream?" And I was like, "No, there isn't."
Yeah.
So how was that? How was the game against Letran? A team that we rarely face. We even tune-ups, right? Do you guys face them in tune-ups? It's like very rare.
We'll be facing them on Friday.
Tomorrow. So first time this summer, removing the invitational games. Letran. Why so? Like just by design? Like they just didn't.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, because Beda is like Ateneo NCA side,
yeah,
and it's Coach Yuri,
Mhm.
so it's really easier.
but yeah.
Yeah, go ahead against Letran. You were there, right?
I was there.
Mason
yeah.
was there.
So I guess I was. Was I the only vet? I was the only veteran, and then it was a team full of rookies.
Yeah, because that
First
was
year UAP.
Kyle's first game, right? Gamber.
Al Gamber's first
First
game.
game.
Matt
And Araneta.
Luna, yeah, Kobe Demasana, Asoro, Michael Asoro, Rafi Celis. Man, those Cebu guys are tough too.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get there as well.
Yeah. So coming into Letran, it's kind of like, Letran's the NCAA champions, and this is a team full of rookies that I'm with right now.
Yeah.
So it was really like, how can I mentally prepare them to face a team like Letran? And
That's hella physical.
very physical, man. But yeah, we came out to the game, and I was just so amazed with how these rookies were playing. They played with so much confidence. Kobe played so well. Matt DeLuna played well. Kyle Gamber, Mason. I could keep going on, but it was a close game all throughout. Rayson was hitting big shots,
As he
And-
should. As he
yeah.
should.
and eventually we outlasted them. We probably got a steal and then hit a big three with Jared Brown in the corner in transition. And yeah, it was cool to see the rookies face adversity and overcome it. It just shows how bright the future was. And it was cool to be back in Araneta too after the championship.
It is different kind of lighting, right? Consider
was.
it's for FIBA. It's FIBA lighting. So did it change at least
I've
for
never
you?
seen Araneta that bright.
Because it was all in the court. it's blacked out for the crowd.
Yeah.
You can That's where you can't see the crowd for sure. It's all centered on the court, and it's great.
Would you
It's
know
great.
if Araneta and Mo are gonna be like that still? Like,
Yeah,
will
what do
they
you,
keep the
I'm
FIBA?
not sure if I'm not even sure if the LEDs if we improved it or was it FIBA, so I'm not sure as well.
Somebody please like.
Sports were
I hope we bought it. It's not like we just rented it.
Well,
It would be
I hope they
amazing
keep
though.
the same production because the FIBA World Cup was amazing this year.
You guys watched a lot of FIBA World Cup games, right? You guys were there in Philippine Arena. Were you guys there?
We were there on opening day as a team.
Yeah.
It was so cool, like just being around each other, walking through the arena. It's weird because usually we're the ones playing.
Yeah. You guys
But,
are the ones
yeah,
watching.
But to be together, going and being fans of basketball, what an experience, man! And the production of this World Cup was world class. It was so nice to see like basketball fans come out. What a pleasure.
I'm sure you guys got a lot of love from the fans. A lot of people are taking photos with you guys. I'm sure everywhere you go.
Yeah,
It was kind of hard
It was
to
super
move
cool.
from place to place.
Yeah, but we're also fans who wanted
Yeah.
pictures with the Gilas players.
So you just wait.
Or actually international players too, players from Italy. I wanted a picture with Kat.
is a picture with
Oh yeah.
How did you get a
from
picture with
Kat,
Simone?
Simone.
Simone.
Yeah. Well, I'm just a fan of basketball in general.
How did you get a photo with him? Was it like
Honestly, I was just walking around BGC and he was just there.
Oh, he was just
Yo.
there?
Yeah, and then
Was he like moving with his teammates? Were they wearing
Yeah.
like Italia t-shirts? Or no, they were wearing civilian clothing.
I think he was just wearing civilian clothing, but it's hard to miss someone that's like 6'7". Yeah, and we've seen him play an opening day. I'm a fan of his game. Tough.
Speaking of tough, let's one question that that I got from somebody, I'm not gonna mention the name because he wants to be anonymous, is like how did the team handle the when Forthsky the news was shown in the public about him leaving? Or actually, no, it was not the news. It was just an IG post, right?
Yeah.
But for the team, when did you guys know about it? What was the real story behind everything with a statement and
Yeah.
during the summer, him leaving Ateneo?
With Fortsky, I think honestly the team found out pretty much the same way everyone found out.
Oh, okay.
But there's no hard feelings at all. We support his decision, whatever he decided to do. He won a championship with us, and we're extremely thankful for what he's done for us. So moving forward, all we can do is support him.
That's great. And with that one, was it did when you asked Coach Tab and the coaching staff, did they know about it earlier? Like, because of course during the summer, you were was he part of the plans on how the team is going to be done heading into season 86?
I assumed yes. Talking to him, we were optimistic. But as of off the court stuff, we don't really like intervene with it. It's just
More of if you're on the court, this is what we're gonna do. It's
Yeah.
very professional.
Yeah, we try to keep it as professional as we can. So, if the coaches have a decision to make, we trust them. And if a player has a decision to make, we support them.
That's great. And with that one, now that we're almost done with the off season, any great or any best Coach Tab story this summer? Because I know you've had a lot, but we can just keep it to this summer. It can be from Pinoyliga, FilOil, Basket, from Wobs during your time, because you guys been everywhere. Been to Japan, Davao. Jeez, yun lang naman. Japan and Davao lang naman. But it's a lot. It's like what you said, 40 games in 55 days. So there must be. I don't know how that's possible considering that. Actually, it's alright because you guys mix up the roster, right?
Yeah.
It's not the same guys that play in every game to
Yeah.
preserve the health and everything.
Yeah. Memorable coach tab. Australia. Yeah. So honestly, like one of my best memories as a Blue Eagle would have to be Australia. When so during the last day of our Australia trip, we played all those games and the team was just on such a high of bonding outside of basketball. So on our last day in Australia, we kind of after practice we all went to the groceries.
The groceries.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we all went grocery shopping together
Okay.
so that we could have a picnic by the park as a team.
In Australia.
So yeah, we went to a random park in Australia, and the scenery was beautiful. So we were all in like under one tent, sharing cold cuts, roasted chicken. It was such a joy to be around, sharing stories with one another about their first impressions when they came to Ateneo. And then after the picnic, we all headed to the field where we played a game of cricket.
Mm-hmm.
And this has always been Coach Tab's dream, to play cricket with us. The reason it's his dream because he's the only one that knows how to play it.
So he's the one excelling in that
This
sport.
guy
for
is the LeBron James of cricket. I'm telling you right now.
sure.
So the whole team split up and we played cricket, and none of us knew or understood the game.
So did they explain it during what as it's happening?
Coach
So
Tab
here's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, Coach Tab had to explain the sport, and we all just learned it on the spot. And because of everyone's competitive spirit, it was such a joy, man. It was such a great bonding experience for us. The coaches got into it too. We were, talking trash to each other. And luckily, I was in Coach Tab's team, so we won pretty bad. It was a pretty bad score, and yeah, I'm sure you can pull up a video on Instagram somewhere, but
There is did he upload it somewhere?
Yeah, you can see us celebrating as a group. It's just such a memory to keep.
How was he like outside the court, Coach Tab? Like, is he the same kind of person off the court, or it's a completely different guy?
I would say it's not a completely different guy. I believe he's more lighthearted. He'll throw more jokes around off the court, and he's not. I think he's not as intimidating as people see.
Oh.
Would you say? Yeah, I would say so.
Actually, yeah, it's easy to approach him after the games in Pinoyliga. I would just say, "Hey, Coach, that was a great game. Thank you so much." Just like,
I mean, the guy loves what he does, and if you just come in, he'd love to talk basketball to you. And honestly, outside of life, he has a lot of value that he can impart on you. So he's not that different. Honestly, with Coach Tab, people talk about his basketball knowledge and how almost like people talk so much about his strategies, his techniques. But to me, the real value he brings is in between drills, in between practice sessions where he's giving some talks about analogies in life, like those little pockets of knowledge. To me, that's what really brings value from Coach Tab to me.
yeah, definitely, he's been a great influence for Ateneo basketball. We have seen that ever since season 70, season 79. I love it because I would be like, gonna love the fact
This guy
check.
knows everything about Ateneo, man.
You gotta have him. You gotta pay him next time. That's what next time he's here.
I do.
He does it.
Are you enjoying your ring or what?
We don't have it.
Oh, there's gonna be rings for the UAAP. When do they usually give those? Is it during the season, before the season, first day, first game?
During the off season.
During the off season, they give the rings out. Ooh, that'll be nice. You
I
gotta.
hope so. I'm looking forward to it.
Speaking about Coach Tab, to go straight here, how true are the rumors that he's leaving Ateneo immediately after this year? How we talked about this yesterday, and I think people would like to know from you on how true are those rumors.
Personally, I don't think that's true.
You want to dismiss the rumors and everything so far. He's committed right now to Ateneo until the end of his contract. Is that correct?
Yes, I believe so. We don't know where those rumors came from, honestly, but we just trust our inner circle. We know what's true, and yeah, we trust who's inside the gym.
How did you guys address that? For some people, they don't want to discuss it if it's not true. But for Coach Tab, how did he address it? Did he immediately, the moment those reports went out, Did you like, guys, let's have a meeting, let's talk about it? How was it like for you guys?
To be honest, it wasn't that big of a deal to us.
Oh, okay.
We're very candid and open. If we have questions, we openly ask it to him, and he'll give us a straight answer. That's really it.
That's why it was brushed off immediately. Not brushed off. It was addressed immediately.
Yeah. Whether there's rumors or gossip, we don't let that affect us on the court. We try to keep it as professional as possible.
All right. So that's from Shawn Quitevis, ladies and gentlemen. And it's not to put you on the spot. It's just more of at least from the Ateneo camp, because nobody has explained it from any credible source. Because why should they, right? I mean, it's if they want to keep it between you guys or within the camp, then that's it. But I'm happy with that answer. All right, let's now go to the Q&A portion of this segment. So yesterday, before this recording, we went on TikTok and Instagram to get questions for Shawn.
I'm nervous.
You're nervous. Okay, I can first start with mine. Where's that one? So first question from... All right. So this one is from Jonas Panerio. He asked, ask Shawn how crucial the tower runs were during the pandemic. He'll know what I mean. What are the tower runs?
Yeah, that's actually a good conversation. So the tower runs are almost like a black ops basketball crew that basically trains on top of Kokalyong Tower in Cebu.
Okay.
So on top of this tower, at the rooftop is almost like a Chicago-themed basketball court. And it's like overlooking the port of Cebu City.
Okay.
And honestly, it's such a cool experience because, the best players from Cebu come out there. So you have players like Don Hontiveros, you have Brian Heruela, Roger Pogoy, Barkley Abonia. And we just come out there and, play for pride, go as hard as we can from one another. And during the pandemic, there wasn't much basketball going on. So those runs are really what helped me stay fit, keep my game sharp, and see other UAP talents like Patrick Yu, Nick Cabanero. Yeah, it was...
Was Carl there?
Carl Tamayo actually was there.
Cebuano ba si Carl?
Yes.
Ooh, Cebuano rin pala si Carl.
Yeah, Carl Tamayo was there. So
It's like the Black Ops nga talaga. That's what you said.
Yeah.
The US, the Philippine version of the Black Ops.
you know what? Actually, that was the first time I ever saw Carl. Like
Ever? Before
season 84.
Oh.
It was during the pandemic, and
That was like NU Carl. When he was still with NU.
I think he was already committed to UP.
UP.
And I was just like, wow, this dude's 6'7", moves, dribbles like this, shoots like this.
Does he play does he play in the wing in the tower runs? He
Yeah,
plays
yeah.
outside the post.
Yeah, it was like, yo, like this dude's in UP.
This dude's in UP.
Wow. But
Months later, you face him. You see him.
well, I saw him in season 84, and then when he won the championship, I just told him that great job,
champion.
Cebu's proud of you for sure, man. And then they had to face him in season 85. It was kind of like,
Yeah, that's crazy as well. Whenever you get switched on him, ooh.
yeah, he's a tough cover, man. He is.
Especially at the post.
At the post, he has great post moves, great footwork, patient. I mean, what more can you ask from him? Then he's a generational talent, I would say. And he's got that Cebuano toughness, I would say.
Cebuano toughness. Actually, yeah, wala akong kilalang Cebuano na soft on the basketball court. Parang wala akong kilala eh.
I don't know what it is out there.
I don't know.
Might be the
I don't know what's in the water out there.
Might be the lechon, man.
Last question, at least from my end, at least here. Which UAP team is RW Eagles looking forward to face?
I don't think we're eyeing a single team, honestly. To be honest, we're really focused on us growing each game, learning from each game, and each team presents a different problem, and we depend on our coaching staff to guide us through those. So we'll take it one game at a time, and yeah.
All right. All right, let's now go to Instagram. It's gonna be a good one here.
I'm worried about this one, man.
I'm
Sweating.
I have to choose wisely here. All right, first one, let's play it safe. What are your thoughts on the Gilas FIBA World Cup run from Ryan RYXN?
The Gilas FIBA World Cup run.
Yeah, the FIBA World Cup run. As honest as you can.
I think Gilas showed a lot of talent, a lot of promise. You know, there was a lot of great spots. You have AJ Edu, who's playing stellar defensively. You have Dwight, who just reads the game so well, and Jordan Clarkson was a superstar. Abando was was just great on defense. His pressure was truly like Puso basketball.
Yeah, this is the tournament where he shined, like where people finally acknowledge that Renzo Bando is a mainstay on Gilas and should deserve a lot of playing time.
Absolutely. I would even say Kiefer. I think
He got his
Kiefer-
respect here.
Honestly, I think Kiefer had a lot of, I would say, winning plays. And, you know, they won't show up in the stat sheet, but for those that love winning basketball, you admire the things like that.
And of course, you faced against Kiefer during the games.
It's funny, yeah.
Yeah.
I faced Kiefer, but then, you know, I kind of went back to my like high school days where we would visit Ateneo.
Yeah.
Just on like to watch Gilas practice, and then I realized like I had a photo with Kiefer when I was maybe 16 or something.
Wow, that's a full.
That's crazy, oh.
Dang, look how thin you are, though.
Bro, I was so
Before
strong.
all the whey, before all the. Hindi pa nakita ni Migs yan? First time lang din?
Okay.
Na.
No, calm down.
Whoa.
Calm down. That's a legend, bro.
You gotta send that to me.
Your biceps.
Yeah, there you go.
I have no comment.
Nakakatawa, like there was a funny part on your story yesterday. Like, look at those shoulders, bro. I think somebody said that
That's
during.
Chris Kuhn.
That's Chris Kuhn.
Chris Kuhn, man. I'm telling you. Shout out to Chris Kuhn, though.
So Eli Ramos has a question here. When are you gonna switch up the Wolf of Wall Street cut? What does that mean? Is it like a?
He's talking about my haircut.
Oh.
Here's a short story. During the bubble in Ateneo, when Eli was still in Ateneo, Eli would be our designated barber.
Okay. So he knows how to cut hair?
So he was cutting my hair. He was cutting other teammates' hair. He was cutting BJ's
So he knows how to
hair.
cut hair.
I guess so, man. Or at least he says
I mean,
he does.
you guys are confident to allow him to touch your hair.
Yeah.
So
You know, Eli's got a pretty good fade. I'll admit that. But yeah, I don't know if he could.
the Wolf of Wall Street cut.
Yeah.
All right. Another one here. Let's start easy first. Let's start easy. From I think it's one of your fan pages, right? Team Shawn Quitevis 24. As one of the new captains of the team, how do you feel about this new role in the team?
As a captain,
Yeah, as the captain.
honestly, it's still a learning process. I think. Yeah, I just think that being a captain for the Ateneo Blue Eagles, there's just so much weight on it, and you try to live up to it every day. And I'm still learning. I think the biggest thing for me was earning the respect of my teammates, and to really serve them first before I could say I'm a leader. So yeah, I guess I served them by pushing them as hard as I could.
What's from Luis ACV? What's the best piece of advice anyone has given you about life or playing basketball?
You know, when we were in Australia, we talked to one of the coaches who was, I guess, a pioneer for basketball out there, where he really elevated Australian basketball to a new height. He talked about what he looks for, or what coaches now look for when they go into tryouts. And he said, do they really love the game? And to me, that really stuck with me because, you know, if you really love the game, the work will take care of itself. Because if you love like the results or the highlights, those come and go. But if your love of the game stays, then the work will stay and the work will speak for itself.
And that's great because if it's for love for the sport, it's where it could take you to places you don't know where you're. Gotta be careful here. Those times that you were not lined up, this is by Manilet, did you reach to a point that you want to give up or feel like basketball's not for you?
That's a tricky one because those times I wasn't lined up, it was almost like I had to find a balance between patience and impatience, where I had to trust that I was just going to work and my time was going to come, but I also I can't sit around and wait for things to happen to me. So absolutely, I'm human and I'll admit that it was frustrating, but I knew that when my time would come, like I would be working just to get that opportunity. But personally, if the conversation was, let me go back. So make
A point in your life when you're not lined up, you want to give up. Like, had that mentality that maybe basketball's not for me.
Honestly, it's funny. That question came up when I made the lineup. Yeah.
Oh, how?
So when season 85 came and I was in the lineup,
Okay.
I was like, okay, my time has come. Like, this is it. But, you know, I wasn't playing as much as I wanted to. And, you know, I didn't feel like I was bringing value to the team. So I was so frustrated with basketball at that point. Like, my time had come, but I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
And that was the most frustrating part about, you know, basketball, was that I loved it so much, but when the time came for me to perform, I just wasn't there. So that's when I would say, like, maybe basketball wasn't for me. But eventually, like, I stuck it out. And luckily enough, the time came, the opportunity came in game 2 of the finals.
Yeah.
So the rest speaks for itself.
Yeah, it's all uphill from there. Right?
Hopefully.
I gotta be careful with these questions. What's the best advice you've gained from Coach Tab? This is from Joanne Dimple.
Didn't we answer that already?
Best advice? Not yet.
It's hard to choose like which best advice he gave me, but one that recently stuck with me is he was talking about how difficult the challenges that lie ahead of us for our team, especially this year. But he was still going to walk up to the cross that night and thank God for all the challenges that lie ahead of us. And it just gave me a new perspective of hardships, you know. It wasn't something to shy away from. It was something to face head on, and just together as a team, we can get through this.
I love that. I love that advice. And we got a question here regarding being a student athlete. Since I think you graduated with cum laude? With honors?
Yeah.
Yeah, you graduated with
think I
cum
did.
laude. You think I did? Just trying to be humble right here. Anyway.
I got lucky, honestly.
Life Sci, right?
Life sciences.
Life Sciences. It's a 5-year course.
Life sciences with a track in management.
So that's 5 years, sir. You're taking masters right now.
I did
right?
it in 4 years.
You did it in 4 years. Look at this guy.
No, it was a lot of overloading, honestly.
Just want to brag about it. Anyway, any tips for student athletes? How did you manage your studies, being an athlete for the basketball team, and juggling your studies, even ending up with honors?
Honestly, like, the difference from college and high school is time. I think in college you have more flexibility with time, and what you do in that spare time really determines how successful you'll be in your college career, like college life. So with that, I was just very purposeful and intentful with the time I spent. Whether it be for training or extra work or studying, I was just trying to be as purposeful with that as possible. But also, I wasn't afraid to ask for help. Like, if I knew like someone understood it better than I did, then I would try to learn from them as much as I could. And I would also consult with my professors as much as possible. I didn't really just want to be a passing student number to them. I really wanted them to get to know me and for me to get to know them so I could learn as much as I could. And thankfully, I think I did. I think I made a lasting impression on a lot of professors.
Love it. And all right, you gotta pick the questions, man. It's now your turn. You can check your Instagram. You be the one to answer some questions too. Because I did my part. Now with yours, maybe you can pick 2, 3 before we. Yes.
Yo, chill.
I'm just saying, he got an A there.
Ooh, wait, sure.
Wait, how do you know her?
I just know about her because I was nothing before.
Did you take her class? Did you take her class?
No, my friends did.
What did they say?
Wala naman. Like there was nothing.
They did not say wala naman. I'm sure they went. I'm sure they went through some trauma in life.
And he still got an A.
I gotta ask them again, but we just really didn't talk about it. It's more of just like, oh, I got professor, but it's more of that.
Oh, really?
But I think they were only. They definitely didn't get an A. They were like C plus. It was C plus for them. From what I remember from our conversations, but nothing much was said after those conversations.
Can we like blur out her name? I don't really want to be.
Yeah, we can take it out. I can mute it.
Okay.
With the name.
You can just say like a terror prof.
Yeah. Okay. Terror prof.
And
Terror prof. Yeah.
terror accountant prof.
Yeah. Okay. Accounting prof. There you go.
Yeah.
There are a lot of terror accounting profs, by the way. So it could apply to 4 or 5 people. So anyway, how'd you get an A?
Honestly, it was a lot of consultation, just really trying to dial in what she wanted from our answers. And it was like crazy because, accounting's very like numbers, but then we would have oral exams.
Oral exams for accounting?
Yeah.
I think the time namin wala yun.
That just showed you like how difficult this class was.
But you only took one accounting, right? No, because you took a track in management, so that means you have more accounting classes, right?
Yeah.
I think you have 2, 3 more.
My course, Life Science with the track in management, is actually like an integration of pre-med, biology, and some of the business courses from Ateneo. So yeah, we took a lot of, like, you could go from genetics to accounting to calculus all in one day, and then have to learn ball screens, ball screen coverages, and different offenses. School of Tab.
The School of Tab.
Unit course.
Oh, it's more than 20 units.
Yeah, you just move on like without this video, bro.
Okay.
As long as you have the audio, that's fine.
Okay.
It's tumatopak yung camera natin.
No
I think
worries.
too overheated. I knew I should have paid more for a different camera.
100K.
Should have bought the 100K camera.
110K.
Parang 110 pesos lang, no? You gotta save up for that one.
You just gotta sell one Kobe poster here and you're good,
Dude,
man.
1 Kobe posters. Again, by the way, we didn't get to thank Lunacy for hosting us here. It's it's not a studio, but it's like a meeting room that we converted to like a podcast area. So it's perfect. So a lot of sockets. You can rent this out. I think it's 2,000 pesos consumable.
Yeah, honestly, as a basketball fan,
Yeah.
this place is amazing, man. Just the memorabilia that's around here. It's honestly like kind of like a basketball haven.
Definitely. That's their branding. So
Shout out to Lunacy, man.
yeah, so if you guys are looking for places here in BGC where you could work with really fast Wi-Fi, like a 500 Mbps, great food, great coffee, this is the place for it, Lunacy. Forgot to mention it at the start, but here you go. Here's your moment.
Yep.
Anyway, Shawn, for the last question or last 2 questions, do you want to pick?
Do I want to pick? Nah, I can't. I gotta decide on the fly.
I don't think. Just one question. Are there any? Oh, my favorite question. Who's your top four? Who's your final four for season 86? Are we gonna answer that one?
I can't.
You can't.
I can't. It's bad karma. It's bad.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad karma. We're not gonna do that. We're not.
It's bad karma.
We're not gonna use this podcast episode as inspiration.
Everyone's an off.
Everyone's on what? An off. You'll never know who's listening to this podcast, right? Next thing you know, like, oh, this specific clip blew up, and like somebody just snipped it. It's on Twitter,
They're gonna share it.
and then we're toast.
Maybe.
And I always wanted to ask this question, but it's for offline.
Oh.
Maybe last one. By Alyana Mir. Most memorable experience during the preseason. Did I ask you that one a while ago? But
Oh, it's still Australia, maybe.
still Australia. Why? Because of the opponents you guys faced. How was that? Like, were you guys facing? You guys were facing NBL pro teams, right?
NBL 1.
NBL 1.
Honestly, the most memorable preseason experience would have to be when we faced the Brisbane Spartans.
Brisbane
So it's
Spartans.
basically Mason's home team.
Oh, okay. He's from Brisbane.
Yeah.
All right.
And the game was just it was so intense because even though it was like the Brisbane Spartans' home court, it felt like our home court because all of the Filipino fans came out.
How did they know? Did you guys publish it somewhere? Like
I think so. I think this.
Make posters for,
May posters.
Yeah.
for the Australians to relay it to their communities.
Yeah, they did a really good job with that. So all the fans came out and they had so much energy, man.
So it's like a Philippines versus Australia game.
Oh, honestly, honestly,
No, bro.
No,
no, bro.
I'm gonna mention brawl.
Wait,
Hey, what are you talking about? Wala namang ganun ah. I
yeah,
think that's a thing of the past.
thing of the past.
I don't even know if that happened. Anyway. Anyway, so Ateneo versus Brisbane. What's the name?
Spartans.
Spartans.
So, yeah, I guess you could say it was like Philippines, Australia. It kind of felt like that.
It kind of
honestly.
felt like that. So it was like an arena. What kind of are you guys in the gym? How was it like? What was
It was like almost like the Phil Basket Arena, something like that.
the one in Las Piñas? That big? Oh, FilOil? So malaki. So parang it can handle like
Good
how many ba people sa FilOil? 4K, 5K people? Oh, that's a lot. 5,000 people. That's a lot.
And so the game was really intense, like, when they play in Australia, like 1 through 5 can shoot. They're all like the same height. It was really cool. So I think we were down 10 by the first half. And second half, we come out, we make a good comeback. Game's so close, and then we tie the game up. And I guess this is where you can post the viral Kai Ballungay game-winning posterizing dunk.
Oh, that was the
That was the
one.
game. We got it was their ball. They were inbounding. Tie game. And we get a steal off the inbound, and he just probably the best play of his career. And I was like right in front. I was getting ready like for a rebounding case. And when it happened, I was so in shock. But I was already yelling like at Kai, like screaming, just celebrating. And then, immediately the Australians like quick inbound. They get the ball back in. I'm like, oh, all right, I'm on defense.
This guy closer because I tell him he's like a Pistons Blake Griffin, but he says he's MPJ.
Kai? He's not MPJ. Like he's not MP. No, I mean like in the best way, cause yeah. Because when I think of MPJ, it's Michael Never Passed the Rock Jr. That's for me. But Kai passes it. He doesn't force things.
No, Kai's I wouldn't even say.
Like, who's a good NBA player or player comp? It's a good question.
It's a good question.
Player comp for Kai.
Shoots the rock well. Rebounds well.
But Pistons, Blake Griffin
feel like-
with the shooting.
I feel like Kai is so much smarter. I don't know.
Huh.
Kai is just Kai, honestly,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, that's it. It's one of one
One-on-one.
right there. I'm not sure if you're gonna answer this, but what do you believe to be, or one of the weaknesses of Ateneo, and what are you doing to improve it, or what you guys are doing to improve? Would you guys say in public what your weaknesses are, or something that's safe to say in the podcast? Or maybe one of the weaknesses you guys saw from the first day of FilOil to now that has been addressed.
Yeah, injuries have plagued us in this off season, but a lot are making a good comeback with it.
So it's more of the conditioning. You guys changed up your routines or something to combat those injuries?
They were just kind of like freak injuries, I would say. Like one time, like Kai just elbowed Mason's nose in a practice, something like that. Just small injuries that would like take some players out of practice for a while. Like ankles.
But Mason now has a mask, right?
Yeah,
Was it because of that?
Because of that.
It's a black mask. I was like, what's this?
Yeah, other than that, we're just working on becoming better. That's it.
All right. Good thing you didn't divulge anything. You imagine you just said like, all right, we're gonna defend the pick and roll coverage better. We gotta fix that part.
Well, in all honesty, we need to do everything better as a team. So, yeah.
Maybe last one, at least from my end. Oh, there you go. At least anything you want to say to the Ateneo community heading into season 86? That's just it. That's just the last question from my end.
Well, the Ateneo community, thank you so much for your support all throughout this season, this off season. We hope that you come out and support us during these UAP games. We want to feel your energy. We want to see you in the crowds, and let's run it back.
Yeah, back to back. Let's go. That's what Ateneo's running or gunning for here in season 86. And can't wait to see them in 16 days for all the UAP teams. That's gonna start. The UAP starting on September 30, and it's gonna run till December. Usually runs till December, right? So once again, Shawn, thank you so much, and watch out for Shawn's announcement on Instagram. He will have a new show, but are we gonna say it now?
Yeah, good.
Go ahead.
We'll be releasing a new show with Miggy Bautista called Cold Conversations. It's in partnership with our cold tubs brand called Cryoflex. Conquer the cold, conquer the competition. And we'll be bringing in guests into these cold tubs with us. And with each level of depth, the questions will get harder. So we look forward to having you guys there too.
When's the first episode? Are we gonna expect it next week? It has to be before the season, right? You have to start recording
by
before the
this
season.
month.
Yeah.
By this month, it should be out.
There you go. Just make sure to follow Shawn on Instagram,
Yeah.
TikTok as well.
Sure.
Instagram, TikTok, wherever you guys follow him, and be sure to support Ateneo. If you do support Ateneo, or at least the UAP basketball, Philippine basketball, and see the next stars of the nation. Once again, guys, it's Nico with Shawn Quitevis, Ateneo's captain, along with Chris Kuhn. And for those watching on YouTube, please subscribe, like, comment, so that and also share this so that a lot of people would see it. Just a glimpse on what happened in Ateneo's preparation for season 86. And for Spotify, make sure to follow and give us a 5-star rating there. So once again, this is 6 Man Podcast. See you guys next time. Peace out.